Welcome back to my mental health and crime channel. My name is Huda London. This is for educational purpose only. This is the case of the Idaho 4. May the 4 victims rest in peace, condolence to their families, and may the correct justice be served. Today I'd like to talk about one of the surviving roommates, D.M. Dylan Mortensen. And I've spoke about this topic twice before within these 2 years. I find it to be extremely interesting and important, and I'll explain why. On the 30th of October 2022, that is exactly 13 days before the quadruples happened, it was Halloween Day. The surviving roommates and the roommates, I believe, had a Halloween gathering or a party. And I believe that whatever happened in this party could have led to this tragic quadruples. I've always said that I believe that there were different motives and different targets. I don't believe that it was only one of the 4 victims that were the targets. I believe that all 4 were targets of different individuals, suspects, or groups or parties. Today I want to focus a bit on DM. We can see DM here with the blue long wig. You see MADDIE behind DM. I personally believe that DM was being bullied in this video. Pay attention to Xana and MADDIE. May they rest in peace. MADDIE is sitting on DM's lap. She has a open alcohol beverage. DM looks like she's in a very awkward position. You have Xana on her phone, possibly recording what's happening. You have Xana's legs crossed over Dylan's leg, kind of in a locked position. Just in my opinion. What is interesting is this is from Maddie Morgan. 8 is TikTok. Downstairs it's written JSC or IC. It's a music song that was playing on Maddie's TikTok. And it says JSC, this if you are gay, Jaden. We all know that Jaden Smith, the Smiths, Will Smith and Jada Smith's son, likes to wear dresses. He likes to dress different to other young men his age. He even came out admitting that he was dating Tyler, the creator, the rapper. The rapper's called Tyler, the Creator. He came out publicly on the stage saying that he was dating him for over 2 years, and Tyler was insisting, no. He was showing his finger saying no. What I'm trying to say is Jaden himself admitted that he's a guy dating guys. and he wears dresses. My question is, what was going on here? We've heard rumors that Dylan Mortensen is a man. This is nothing to discredit, or this is nothing to discriminate anyone who has that kind of lifestyle. My purpose is to find out exactly what happened and who unalived these 4 students. Now, when I see someone like DM in that awkward position, my eyebrows raise. I wonder what was going on in that house. There was rumors that the victims were mean girls in the beginning, especially with the Hannah Clee case. And if there were mean girls, or if there was some form of bullying that was going on there, why would MADDIE write JSC if you are gay, Jaden? There were over 4,000 people, 4,698, I believe, people who saw this on TikTok when MADDIE posted this on the 30th of October. So you can imagine when over 4,000 of the students see this, DM would have definitely been humiliated. She must have felt ashamed. And maybe she didn't want her secret to go out. I'm not saying the surviving roommates or DM did this, but I'm saying if there was some kind of fiction going on at home, bullying can lead into someone unaliving themselves. Bullying can lead into someone unaliving somebody else. Bullying can lead into many different negative and serious outcomes. Is Xana recording what is happening here? Is my question. And why is MADDIE Morgan putting this up in a post? This is 12 to 13 days before the quadruples. When you zoom into the picture, look at DM's mouth. Sometimes they say actions speak louder than words. Look at DM's eyes. I don't think she was faking this. I think she was being bullied. It's really sad to see. I just see pain in someone's eyes. I've spoken about this before, but I've never paid clear attention to DM and Xana's picture, because Xana clearly had her legs on DM. And we had MADDIE sitting on her lap. So that was a very uncomfortable picture to even watch, so I can imagine how DM felt. Now pay attention to this picture. I used to always think that DM was put in a timeout. She looks like she's not happy to be there. And the clothes that she's wearing looks like a white vest. I don't know what the orange thing is. But this came into my attention from somebody very close to me who noticed it. They said, "Why is this girl tied up?" Pay attention to DM's hand. You can see the orange rope or whatever, the belt of the vest is tied up on her hands. You can't see the other hand because I believe it's inside the orange vest or whatever she's wearing. Look at the sadness in her face. These pictures were put up by MADDIE Morgan, may she rest in peace, on her TikTok on the 30th of October, 2022. This could be all innocent pictures, but I don't think so. So now if these pictures was put up by MADDIE and we saw Xana was sitting next to MADDIE, and if DM was being bullied for living a life maybe like Jaden Smith, allegedly, wouldn't that be something to consider? That could have been a motive. I'm not saying that DM and BF did this, but what I'm saying is if they saw a trespasser coming into the house and unaliving their roommates, they must have been, DM could have been easily upset because she's been bullied. There was some kind of fiction going on in the house 2 weeks before this. Let's not forget what DM said. The pastor or preacher was reading, the pastor was reading DM and BF's speech in the memorial 2 weeks after the unalivings, said that DM mentioned about DM thanking Kaylee. When she was talking about Kaylee, she said, I came to your house and I saw you were so happy for your new Jeep, the SUV. So DM saw Kaylee's brand new SUV before anyone else. That means she went to visit Kaylee. I wonder if the suspects told her to go and convince Kaylee to be your plus one. There was actually a sorority party on the 11th, I believe, of November, one night before this horrific quadruples. Then we know for a fact that DM, now that the 911 transcript has come out, DM's phone was switched off or the battery went off for 1 hour and 56 minutes, I believe. Where was she and what was she doing? DM is allegedly the witness that heard a man saying, I'm here to help, from Xana's room. She heard someone that sounded like Kaylee playing with her dog. She's the one who went and visited Kaylee and saw Kaylee's SUV. I've seen many pictures with Kaylee and DM. I really don't think they had much beef. I've hardly seen pictures of BF and Kaylee. Maybe it means nothing, but it could mean something. MADDIE put all this up on a TikTok. And you can imagine how humiliated, sad, traumatized DM could have felt. Isn't it strange that it's DM who's not only one of the surviving roommates, she's the witness. A witness who saw a man with bushy eyebrows, although she had pictures of people with bushy eyebrows in her room. DM is trying to tell us that she saw BK and he just passed her. He didn't even bother to touch her or warn her or threaten her. So he left actually a surviving roommate to testify against him so that he can be unalived by Idaho, Moscow. or Idaho, Boise. If he's found guilty, he's getting the death penalty. The shooting squad is going to take him down. So why would BK do that? Knowing that he has an excellent reputation in his criminology class, DM, his hands are tied. Pay attention. What was going on? Then we have the rumor, speculation, the fact. We don't know if it's fact, but the rumors about Hannah Clee and how the girls were mean girls. We don't know if it was Kaylee or Maddie, may the rest in peace, or even Xana. But now we actually see pictures of DM that looks like she's being bullied for her gender. And then it makes me remember one thing. Why would Stacy Chapin, Ethan's mother, may rest in peace, say that there wasn't any love triangle going on? She said, I wanted to clear the rumors. Why would that rumor come out? The woman in the interview asked Stacy Chapin, this was the first interview, how did you know, how did you hear about Ethan? What happened to Ethan? Did they tell you? She meant the triplets, because they was talking right before that about Maisie and Hunter Chapin. And she said yes. So Stacy admitted that her children called her and told her that Ethan was deleted, unalived. Quite interesting. For Stacy Chapin to say that there was no love triangle. And then you have Maddie, may she rest in peace, saying like this, if you're Jaden, if you're like Jaden, and we know what Jaden Smith is about. So what was actually going on in the house? Could this have led to further beef? Because the surviving roommate's 911 call does not make sense. It doesn't make sense. They start the 911 call by saying there's an unconscious person. Our roommate was drunk and she's not waking up. That means you have to have gone. They had to have gone and seen someone unconscious. The fact that the 911 call came in 8 hours or 9 hours later is a red flag. And now that they mentioned the 911 call and the transcript, why are they leaving out the part that the 911 call came from 1100 Kings Road? The Blue House. So did the surviving roommates run down to 1100 Kings Road? They did see an unconscious person. Otherwise, why else would they be calling 911? How could they sit and guess that someone's unconscious unless you've seen the person unconscious? And while they're speaking for a while to the 911 operator, they say, can I basically tell you what happened? We saw someone in black clothing last night. We saw a man with black clothing. Wouldn't that be the first thing you say in your 911 call? The fact that they were texting each other, DM, BF. The fact that their parents were texting them. The fact that the parents were calling them. The fact that they were taking photos. The fact that they were using Yik Yak Yik Yak app. That's a bullying app, quite strangely. TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram, Indeed app should tell us something. Something was going on inside the house. I believe the surviving roommates were in the house. I don't believe they were in any hotel. The police can't be lying about that, otherwise that is enough to dismiss Koberger out of it. Ann Taylor would have made sure that she would have said, your witness is all false statements, because DM was in a hotel or BF was in a hotel. So I think they were at home. The tripod from Illinois saw a young female running and hysterically yelling, running from the sliding door down to the front of the house, and there's a black truck parked in front. This will be interesting because all that should come out at the trial. So remember, these pictures were taken Halloween 2022, 13 days before the unalivings. Does this have something to do with the unalivings? Because DM was being bullied. They were comparing her to Jaden Smith. So if DM was wearing female clothes, so does Jaden Smith. Why did MADDIE Morgan choose to put this up in her TikTok? And then when you hear the tune that they're talking about, it's full of swear language, but it says, you effing manipulator, you effing liar, and such things. Go to the TikTok and you'll see it. And it's still up there. So I personally believe that there was bullying going on with the roommates and the surviving roommates. That makes me believe that there was something going on with Hannah Clee's story too, which I'll talk about very soon. If you go back to my old clips, you see a lot about Hannah Clee, because I still believe Hannah Clee's brothers were at the grub truck. Let me know what you'll think in the comment channel. Let's keep it mindful, respectful, because this is no accusation that DM is involved. I'm just pointing out that DM looks like she is being bullied. She's tied up over here. Remember in the beginning we heard that the roommates were gagged up, and then she tried to clear it and say that wasn't true? Why did they find that necessary? I think on the 16th of August 2022 is when DM and BF moved into this house. Because look what MADDIE Morgan has written. Liked by Yes, YH1 and 4,621 others. MADDIE Morgan, meet the roommates. She cheers with 2 wine glasses. View all 219 comments. So this was on August 16. The surviving roommates must have moved in the house. Xana lived there the longest, and I believe MADDIE lived there for a while too. I heard that Kaylee and DM moved in the last, and possibly BF. So I think the surviving roommates were quite new to the house. And I think MADDIE and Xana did not only work together, at the Mad Creek. They lived in the house longer, so they must have been kind of bullying the other roommates to show who's running the show. So they must have put, Maddie Morgan must have put her DM in dresses and all that to humiliate her. And she's gagged up. So were they bullying DM? Could DM have taken revenge? DM and BF know each other from before, so were they told to keep quiet? Or were they actually involved? Is my question. Just a simple question. Because Chief Fry himself corrected the ABC reporter and said, I never said that the surviving roommates were witnesses. I just said they were there. Let's make sense of that. The black truck that passed by at exactly 3 a.m. across Taylor Avenue, Banfield, seemed to be similar to this car, this truck. DM sent a text to Eric G. That was the private share Uber driver that drove Kaylee and Maddie home. 14 minutes later, at 2:10, she asked him, are you still driving? And he said yes. Did she take the ride? What was she running away from? Did she know that the unalivings was going on? Was she told to leave? Or did she decide to just run away from the scene? This one is DM and Kaylee. So Kaylee is +1 was DM, or DM is +1 was Kaylee. And interestingly enough, DM was the one who went to Kaylee's yard. Why was Kaylee studying from home? And why did Xana want her father to help her to fix her door locks? Was there some kind of threat going on in the house that made Kaylee want to stay away from the college and 1122 Kings Road? 2:53, Maddie Morgan calls BF. Why? Was she crying out for help? Why did DM call Kaylee to be her +1? Did Jack D allegedly tell her to come down? Or who? Adam? What did Kaylee tell Maddie that Maddie told Adam? Why did Jack Showalter threaten them? You know we're going to get you for that, Maddie. So was there bullying going on between the surviving roommates? They tied DM up. This picture does not look right. This is a person who's being bullied. And this was just 13 days before. And why would Maddie put it up on her TikTok? Why would she use the word Jaden and if you're gay? Not my words, Maddie's words. May she rest in peace. Please let me know in the comments what you believe. Have a lovely evening.